In 1870, George Garvin Brown signed and sealed Old Forester with a promise, a guarantee of the finest quality and utmost consistency. 5 generations and 150 years later, we still deliver on that promise. Join us for a taste of several key moments in our rich history with the Old Forester Whiskey Row Series. Old Forester 1870 Original Batch. This expression echoes George Garvin Brown's original method, batching barrels obtained from 3 distilleries to create a consistent flavor profile. To emulate that process today, we select barrels from 3 of our warehouses, each from a different day of production, entry proof of age and profile. All 3 barrels are batched together and minimally filtered to craft Old Forester 1870 Original Batch. Old Forester 1897, bottled in bond, was crafted to honor a watershed moment in bourbon history. The U.S. Bottled in Bond Act of 1897. This expression follows the bottled in bond standards that called for whiskey to age in a federally bonded warehouse for at least 4 years, be the product of 1 distillation season, 1 distiller, and from 1 distillery, and it had to be bottled at 100 proof. The idea of sealed quality was the concept behind these regulations, and that quality can be found in the nuances of peppery Old Forester 1897, bottled in bond. Old Forester 1910. On October 22, 1910, a fire on the bottling line halted production of Old Forester. Mature whiskey that was ready to be bottled, instead was stored in a secondary barrel. What emerged was a delightful whiskey, remarkable enough to become an entirely new expression, Old Fine Whiskey. This unique expression mimics the original historic bottling by undergoing a second barreling to allow just enough sweet wood sugar to dissolve into the whiskey. Our 1910 Old Fine Whiskey is presented at 93 proof. 1920 Prohibition Style. The Volstead Act of 1920, which initiated Prohibition in America, also granted 6 permits to distillers in Kentucky to continue bottling bourbon for medicinal purposes. Through one of these permits, Old Forester continued to be produced as medicinal whiskey. All whiskeys at the time had to be bottled at 100 proof, and the Angel's Share would have created 115 proof whiskey after maturation. To pay homage to this era, Old Forester presents 1920 Prohibition Style at 115 proof to represent the rich flavor profile this bourbon had nearly 100 years ago. Enjoy all 4 expressions of history with our Old Forester Whiskey Row Series.